everybody. I'm Leigh Henderson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the managing director of Teatro Visión, and welcome to La Hora del Mitote, which is our weekly live stream. Every Friday, we're here at 7 p.m., where we talk to artists and community members and other friends of Teatro Visión. As always, anyone out there watching, I encourage you all to participate. You can drop your comments in the chat, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, and they will show up here. If you have questions, if you just want to, give a shout out to somebody in the stream, please do so. We love it when you participate. I am super excited to be here with our guests tonight because one of the things that is really important to us here at Teatro Visión is making space to include young artists in the work that we do. We offer classes. We also try to offer opportunities for young artists to be part of our adult cast shows. And for the last couple of years, we've been able to do full productions with all youth casts, which have been really amazing. And hopefully all of these things are beneficial to the young artists and they enjoy working with Teatro Visión. And I can say for sure that working with these young artists is a huge blessing for Teatro Visión, for all of the artists and staff members here at Teatro Visión. And for me personally, the young artists here are, among the most creative and inspiring and generous artists that it has ever been my pleasure to work with. So welcome. So I'm very excited to introduce three of these incredible young artists here on La Hora del Mitote. So I'm going to start by asking all of you to just introduce yourselves, tell us your names, your pronouns if you want to tell us what grade you're in, and then just let us know what your experience is with Teatro Visión, what classes you've taken or shows you've participated in, or whatever else you've done with Teatro Visión. Why don't we start with Marissa?
Hi, my name is Marisa Torres. I'm a senior in high school. I've been with Teatro Visión for 3 years now, and I think I'm on my fifth show, and I've done, I think, 3 classes.
Cool. Allie?
Hi, I'm Allie Ramirez. I use she, her pronouns. I've been with Teatro Visión for like a year and a half, not too long. They're way more experienced than I am. But I've done 2 productions and I've done 1 class.
Cool. Adelita?
All right. So hi, my name is Adelita Osuna. I use she, her pronouns. I am a junior in high school, weird saying that, and I've been with Teatro Visión since I was 8 years old, so around 8 years now because I'm 16 now.
That's amazing. Well, then let me, so how did you all first get involved with Teatro Visión? And maybe I'll start with Adelita because obviously I was involved with Teatro Visión more than 8 years ago, so I win in that regard. I think my first show was 20 years ago, but you have been working with Teatro Visión for longer than I've been in this role. So how did you find out about us? How did you get involved? Why are we so lucky to have you?
Well, actually, my parents enrolled me because I was really shy and antisocial when I was 8 years old, and I didn't have many friends. So they thought it'd be a cool way to have me be introduced to like the theater and then my culture as a Chicana. And so I joined a beginner's class with Elisa, who's my mentor now. And I met my best friend there, Caitlin Robles, and it was life-changing after that. Elisa asked me to audition for Macario, and the rest is history.
And that was the very first Macario, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been in every single one of them?
Every single one of them.
How about you, Marissa?
Mine was a bit of a slower start. I joined in freshman year. The first time I heard about Teatro Visión, I actually have family that performs in the shows, and I went to see Macario 2016, I think, and I was just mesmerized by the show. And the next year, Caro told me to audition for Macario, and I was like, I'm too shy. Same thing happened with La Muerte Baila, and I was too shy. And then she finally said, well, you don't have to do the show, but you can do the classes for Mango Street. And I was like, okay, I guess. And the only reason I wanted to was because I had a friend from school that was going to do the classes too. And apparently my mom said I had no choice anyways, that she signed me up without me knowing. So I did the classes, and then from there I decided I was brave enough to audition, and I've been with them ever since.
Well, a big thank you to your mom then for signing you up
Yeah.
without telling you. Worked out well for us, certainly. Hopefully for you too. How about you, Allie?
I first heard about teatro in 7th grade. I'm a freshman now. It was through one of my good friends that I've known for a while. Her name is Maya. Her mom told my mom and another mom. You guys know Nathaniel Martinez. And Nathaniel, he is an amazing actor, so he was really excited for that. So because of him and because of Maya's experience with teatro, I've seen her in a couple plays before that. I decided to try the class before I did Judo Pequeño, and I got into the transition of Judo Pequeño, the play, and that was my first start.
Awesome. And thank you all to all the, we've got some of the parents out there commenting and showing love. So that is fabulous. Keep them coming.
Hi,
we love to
Mom.
see that. Yep. Well, again, we obviously owe her a big thank you, right? So what else, besides your work with Teatro Visión, what other interesting things do you want to tell us about yourself? This is La Hora del Mitote is all about just getting to know our artists better. And so what else is interesting about you that everyone might want to know? You can decide who to start.
All right. Besides working with Teatro Visión, I also am interested in technical theater. I've done 3 years so far of technical theater at my school, and it's a very hands-on class until this year. It's more of the academic version, but yeah, and I'm very interested in making things. I'm a very creative person. I like crafting, and I also have a lot of interest in marine biology. That's what I want to major in.
Awesome. And let me just say, as I also am background in technical theater, so I think it's awesome. It's another one of those fields that we need more women in. So
Definitely.
I love it. Good for you.
Adelita.
I mean, my whole life surrounded by any type of art. So I do a lot of drawing, digital art. I've been doing a lot of playwriting recently just because I have nothing else to do. And then at my school, I do more backstage work. So I know last year I was a puppeteer in The Little Shop of Horrors, and I played Audrey too. And so mostly a lot of tech stuff. I was ASM one year, and then this year I'm assistant director. So just a lot of backstage work. I don't do many things that are interesting besides.
You just named like 12 interesting things that you do.
Besides talking to.
You FaceTime me all the time. That's pretty interesting.
That's not really interesting though. So like I said,
I see.
But yeah, I mean anything theater, drama, art related. That's my passion.
Okay.
Awesome.
Like I've said before, you guys have way more experience in the theater area than I have. But I like to read a lot. I just finished the new Hunger Games book that came out recently. I'm into singing, especially like songs from like show tunes, so like from musicals. Right now I'm into the Legally Blonde soundtrack, so that's
Yes.
I was going to ask what your favorite musical was then.
I think my favorite musical is Hamilton, because especially now they came out on Disney Plus, so that's a plus. I watched.
I agree.
I don't like Hamilton.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
okay.
There's a controversial opinion.
But I want to major in politics, so like become a lawyer. Criminal defense sounds pretty fun. So
super cool.
Yeah, that is super cool.
That's awesome.
Well, wait, so what are your other favorite musicals then? You don't like Hamilton. What's your favorite musical?
Spelling Bee.
Yeah. I love Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee is like one of my favorites.
Leigh, her favorite musical is Shrek the Musical.
Oh my god. I had a Shrek phase when I was in like 8th grade because I was in the show, and
Mama Shrek.
I had a Seussical phase. Seussical got me into theater, so then I had a Shrek phase, and then I had like a Drowsy Chaperone phase. I'm in a Spelling Bee phase. Lots of stuff.
That's nothing to be embarrassed about. Here's Diane. We need good lawyers. You would rock.
Thank you.
There you go. That's Diane Vega, our production manager, so she should know. Awesome. Well, let me, any of you just tuning in, just to remind you, this is Teatro Vision's weekly La Hora del Mitote. We are here at 7 p.m. every Friday, and many of you obviously, are already commenting and participating, but we encourage you to ask questions of our guests if you have any questions that you want to know, which could or could not be about what their favorite musicals are. Up to you. Feel free to ask them in the comments. We would love to answer them. I also want to mention, because some of them are clearly watching, that Teatro Vision's youth programs would not be possible without a group of parents that we have. They're called Familias Unidas. And I believe, all of the parents of the people on this call with me are active participants. I can't possibly list all the things that these amazing parents and family members do for us, but they have helped us raise money. They build props, they sew costumes, they sell tickets, they bring food to rehearsals. Essentially they just provide an amazing support structure, not just for their kids, but for all of us at Teatro Vision. And so a huge thank you to all the parents and the family members of Familias Unidas. And like I said, I know some of you are clearly out there watching and commenting right now. So thank you for everything that you do for us. So let me, turning back to Teatro Vision for a minute, do you want to share some of your favorite memories of what you've done with Teatro Vision? Anyone want to volunteer?
Ali.
I think one of my favorite memories is I really liked my director for the transition to Pequeño, Cristal. Her name was Cristal. She was pretty cool. I enjoyed working with her. She helped me grow as an actor. And then another really good memory is meeting, especially Marisa and Adelita, because I love you guys. You guys are amazing. They're so sweet. They're so encouraging. And everybody at Teatro is pretty cool. Like you can get along with everyone, and that's part of community, and that I really like that.
All right.
Not bad, Adelita.
I mean, there's so many. There's so many good.
We've got time. You can do more than one.
I mean, my newest one recently has to have been Pride last year. I mean, that experience, like the beforehand, just getting there and like waiting, and then I think it was Adobe or
yeah,
it was Adobe
behind us, and they had a sign that says "Better Together," and that was just our theme that the whole thing is like the whole cast or a lot of the cast of Macario were there just cheering us on as we walked through the parade. We're all about acceptance, so just being able to celebrate who we actually are in Pride with each other as a big family. It was one of my favorite memories.
And you organized all that too. So, don't be modest. You had a big part in getting us in that parade. So, we appreciate that you did that, and I'm glad it was a good experience for you.
Thank you.
Also, can I mention that Adobe also gave us donuts, and they also they gave us
Of course.
yeah they let us ride in their trolley, and they gave us face paint and stickers, so that was pretty cool too.
So many free. I felt like we were sponsored by Adobe.
We were, that's why.
Well, I've been trying. I'm trying to get Adobe to sponsor our shows. So
Better together,
yeah,
no?
they definitely sponsored our participation in that parade. It felt like.
I think my favorite memory, or one of them, because again, there's so many, but it was during the house on Mango Street. There was this one scene called Mamacita, or no, it was called No Speak English, about, and there was this one part where the baby sings this Pepsi commercial song, and we used a recording of our director, Wilma, as the baby.
We didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, we didn't know at all. She just said that the Pepsi song was going to play, and that was pretty much it. So the first time we were on stage and we heard her sing, all of us tried so hard not to break character, but I'm pretty sure you could see all of us do this because it was so hard not to break character, because you just hear Wilma singing as a baby, singing the Pepsi song, and it was just
It was too much.
something.
Now, I hope that was a rehearsal, not a performance.
I don't know.
When we watched back the tape of the house on Mango Street as a cast, I was looking, and you just see me trying with my water bottle this way, trying to hide my face from laughing because it was just too much. Like, Wilma could break. I am decently good at not breaking character, but she makes me break character literally anything she does. She's so funny.
So we've got a question from our viewing public. How's distance learning going for all of you?
We don't talk about that.
Oh, that good, huh?
Yeah, I want to be on campus. Yeah, I miss school. Just something I would not think I would say, but I do.
I think for me, it's like, it's okay. I don't mind the being able to get up like 2 minutes before class and then just logging on. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of on like screen time. I only get about like a 4-hour break from classes to doing work. And so I'm staring at the computer all day, and I get very nauseous just staring at it all day. And not only that, but they say they don't give a lot of work, but they kind of do. My teachers kind of give a lot of work. And so I'm up till like midnight doing homework and just trying to do as much as I can for the next day. And it's going. It's okay.
I mean, I get that. Like, it's going decently okay for me just because I have like a lot of easy classes this year, but because it's online, it doesn't feel like it's like real, So it's like I haven't, at the beginning I wasn't really taking it as serious as I should have, and then my grade slipped and I got yelled at, so now I'm taking it serious. But it's just, I already don't do good sitting in one place for such a long time. Something I struggled with in school as well, and now I'm just like, let me sleep through this period real quick. They can't see me anyways. So it's what we have to deal with. It's just the reality right now.
Well, yeah, that doesn't sound fun, I will say. Well, maybe that's related to the next question I was going to ask. And this is a question for all of you, Ali, Natalita, and Marissa, but it's also a question, I think, for anybody out there watching who wants to chime in. We would love to hear what you have to say too, which is, obviously Teatro Visión can't be doing live in-person classes or productions or anything like that right at the moment, right? So under those circumstances, what do you think that we, Teatro Visión, could be doing that would help you guys or would help other young artists out there? What do you think? We want your ideas.
I know for me and Marisa, we're currently in a play with Teatro Visión, so we can't really say anything about that. But at the beginning of quarantine, it was tough on all of us. I mean, the play that we were in, Esperanza Rising, just got postponed a year, and we had all gotten like the parts we dreamed of, and it was tough. We were all super sad, and Teatro Visión actually, it was supposed to be for like 4 weeks, but they were kind enough to do it for a little bit longer, like maybe 2.5 months with us. Just sitting there and letting us show our talents, checking in with us, letting us have a safe place for our creativity. And I know the beginner class is just finished right now for Teatro Visión, so we're doing our best, you know? I mean, you guys are still providing that safe place for us that we need during these tough times.
Well, we're doing our best, but yeah, what were you going to say, Marisa?
I think like being at home is hard to find a creative outlet if you don't have like, maybe you don't have a hobby, or if you don't feel like you want to do something hands-on. And I think like at least my school did this play viewing each week. We had one play that we would all watch, and there was a live chat, and we would all just talk about different aspects of theater, whether it would be the technical side or the performance side. And it was just a place to kind of go hang out with your friends and have fun, but also talk and learn about different aspects of theater through watching a play. And I thought that was like, it was really cool to go every week just to hang out and have fun and kind of like express that creative side of theater.
That's a good idea.
They've pretty summed up everything. Yeah.
Well, if I mean, so like if we were to do something like that, would you all be interested in doing it?
I'd do anything Teatro Visión put out.
Of course. I mean, I know something that we did during the classes that, maybe it was just my partners, it just happened to be this way, but it felt really cool because it was always me with someone younger. So it was kind of like a mentorship, like a big sister, little sister thing, like kind of like that. I was with someone younger and just kind of not told them what to do, but like guided them into creating their own art, like helping them make it. So that was fun because it was our experience as teenagers and young adults to help the newer ones that are coming in as we're going out, and it's like setting up the next generation of youth actors. So that was super fun for me.
That's great. I mean, and how do we keep doing that somehow? You know, because I think that's so cool. The like taking responsibility for passing things on to younger artists. What can we do to help that keep happening, you know?
I mean, I feel like you guys do a pretty good job right now. I mean, when you guys cast plays, it's not just like, let's do all the teenagers or let's do all the youth. You guys very much like even it out. And we always, I mean, I know I do, I always connect with at least one of the youth, like no matter what. That's like my main goal. Let me connect with one person. And yeah, that's always cool to me. Just being able to connect with someone younger and having them look up to you in that way.
Well, and you've seen it from both sides, right? Since you were 8, right? When you first joined Teatro Visión. We've been trying and talking about technical theater. That's something Diane, I think, is out there watching. We've been kicking that around for a while, is how can we best make more opportunities for you guys and other young artists to also participate on the technical side.
Yeah, I was in a beginner's tech class. I did one at Starting Arts, and they basically split it up into different jobs. Not all jobs, but they had lighting, they had sound design, they had directing, and construction. And we just kind of split every day. We did something different, and we would put on this like mock-up show. We'd choose one of their like junior Disney shows, and we would go through the script, and we'd have the teachers would be our actors, and we would go through, and the directors would direct, and the lighting people would set that up, and everyone had their own little job, and every day you would rotate. So that I thought was really cool to have some sort of class where it's like intro to tech.
Yeah, Diane, you're watching out there. Let's figure out how we can finally make this happen, because it is something we've been talking about for a long time. Because yeah, I mean, that's just as important as the onstage side of theater, right? And it's what I'm good at. So so there you go. Why am I not teaching these classes? I'll call you all. We'll do it. What else? Other suggestions? I mean, it's really yeah, it's just, you know, like you're all saying that it's tough to be learning from home. We're trying to do the same thing on our end, right? It's how do we connect to people from home in a way that we haven't had to before, right? And like I said, you all are some of the most creative people I know. You need your help.
Does Allie have any ideas?
I like your ideas.
And the most supportive people I know, right?
Yeah, your ideas rock.
Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. Since you are one of the new people, is there anything that we did that helped you feel more like at home with us? You know, like something that we did that made you feel like we were a family.
Oh yes, the circles that we do like before the shows, you know, we're like, those were I really enjoyed those. How we all came together as a cast. We thanked each other for being here, wished each other luck. It like brought spirit and community, like you said. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then we all stomped, which I thought was cool.
Those are the best.
Those are the best.
I remember during Macario we had, or was it Macario? I don't know, one of the shows that we had a big circle. So we wanted to do our own little stomping because we couldn't stomp because we were such a big cast. So we would kind of go outside in the little area and we would do our own little stomp before the shows.
That was funny.
Well, we've got a really good question here.
Who's happening?
Probably looks familiar to Adelita. How does teatro help you express your cultura and political views? That is such a good question, and I would love to hear what you have to say.
I want to hear from the lawyer first.
Oh, that's a good connection.
Teatro Vision has lots of opportunities, like we've mentioned. They, how do I word this? Sorry.
No, take your time.
As when you're placed in a role, you get to see different points of views of people. For example, I was Marjoram in Judo Pequeño, and with that, I got to see how like bullying is impactful. And then with Macario, it's all about the Mexican culture, and then you made like these flowers. I forgot what they were called, but they were orange. And then it was like the Day of the Dead kind of related, but not exactly. And then we were able to learn about that. And then we learned about like characters' backgrounds, which also helped with like culture. That's all I have to say. Adelita.
I mean, yeah, Chicano theater's built off of politics, you know? That's where it sprouted from when they would do their little actos, because a lot of Chicano people or Mexican people couldn't read or write, so they would get together and do what's called an acto to tell everyone what's happening in the world right now. And so obviously we're still doing that now. I feel like Duro Pequeño is a really good example, especially to show the youth what's happening. It's okay to be you, you know? Like, what I loved about Duro was Reno never had a label about what he was. He could have been transgender, he could have been gay, he could have been questioning. But we never put a label on it so kids could connect to whoever they felt like they had to connect to through him. And that right there, she was like beautiful to me. And I know during Mango Street there was a time where one of our actors got had to get taken off in a hospital van, and my dad, the person who asked the question, came and we had a circulo where we all just kind of cried and we let the medicine take care of us, and we were just there as a family. So embracing that side of our culture, our native culture, was it was a really powerful experience. So that tradición all around helps around with that.
How am I supposed to follow that up? I think for me, I did theater with Starting Arts for about 4.5 years, and I always felt like the stories were kind of the same. It's always like about an old white dude that's like looking for love, and in the end there's a wedding. There's always a wedding scene. And when I found Teatro Visión, especially when I saw Macario, I was like, that's my culture. That's my culture on stage. Like, I've never seen that before. And I thought that was so cool that we could express that to other people, and it's not just the same story about the same white dude who gets married in the end. And and I just thought that was so cool that it's, you know, something different, and it represents us and who we are and where we came from and our roots. So yeah.
Definitely.
That was beautiful, all of you. I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to all of us at Teatro Visión to hear you all say that. Yeah, and now it's the time for our dance break that we always do at La Hora del Mitote. There we go.
They also teach us how to dance. All this dancing we got from them. That's so good at it. We're expert dancers. Okay.
Well, let me real quick remind any of you who are, if anyone's just tuning in, this is our weekly La Hora del Mitote, which is every Friday at 7 p.m. We're on Facebook and YouTube, and we talk to different members of our Teatro Visión familia. And today we're talking to, obviously, some amazing young actors that we've worked with. So again, as a reminder, please ask questions if you have questions for them, or just, you know, share the love if you want to, and we'll post that up on the screen as well. So thank you all so much to all of you out there who are already doing this. But yeah, keep it coming. What else? What about, tell me about other meaningful artistic projects that you've done. You all said you have other, other media that you work in, other, as artists or writers or activists. So what have you done that you're really proud of? And I mean, it might be a character you've played at Teatro Visión, but it might be something, that you've done elsewhere in some other medium. You know, we'd just love to hear what wonderful things you all have done.
Can you tell I'm looking at, wait. I was looking at Ali, but I don't know if you could tell I'm looking at.
I say nose goes.
Yeah,
Wait. Your hand.
Good. Wait.
This one. This one first.
Don't make me call on somebody.
Okay. I'll go first. And was it 7th grade? 8th grade, for my English writing class, I wrote a book about homophobic bullying. And I was able to research statistics about that, and like the how in teenagers, the different reasons why it's caused, and I got to learn all about that, and it widened my view on how this is a everyday thing, an everyday problem that happens to so many people, and what they have to go through is so sad, because people don't realize that they're humans and they're themselves, and it's pretty messed up that that happens. So that's an artistic project that I enjoyed learning about.
And you wrote a book about it, you said?
Yeah, it was like a short chapter book, but it was for school, so it wasn't nothing, but it was pretty cool.
That's not nothing. That's amazing. What was the book called?
It was just LGBTQ plus bullying, so it was very straightforward. But
You have to send it to me.
okay,
Me too. I could barely write a sentence.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Writing a book is hard.
It is.
It is.
Congratulations. And that's not an easy subject to write a book about either. So that's amazing. Good for you.
I know Marisa just entered a scholarship for arts. So I don't know if she wants to talk about that.
Why, thank you, Adelita.
Well, I want to hear about it.
Basically, it's a scholarship that you enter in a piece of art that means something to you, and you write an essay about what culture means and how it affects, or how art affects culture. And I entered in a picture of a tarima that I made for my tia. She brought in one that it was old and kind of broken and chipped, so we repaired it. And I spent about like 3-4 weeks maybe painting it. Took a long time, but it was a lot of hard work, but it was super fun. Something else that I wanted to bring up was, like I mentioned before, I do tech at my school, and we did Matilda last year, and I'm super proud of these things. They're these big foam blocks that took so long to make. It was like, they're made of styrofoam, and they were super expensive because like they're precisely cut with lasers, and it was really hard to get our hands on. So we had to be super careful with them. But I was in charge of basically the entire process, working on all of it. And so I had to measure and cut out and draw the fabric, and then we had to glue it on, and then we had to wait for it to harden and paint it and draw the letters, and you had to be in a specific order too, because there's a scene in Matilda where they have to flip the blocks in a specific order to match the alphabet in one of the songs. So it's like, you have to be very precise about things. And we also had these huge flats. We had about 6 of them that would roll around, and they were about, I want to say 7 to 8 feet tall. And we had to cover them in books that are about like this wide. And we had to use these thin sponge brushes with like a light coat of paint and to make it look like chalk drawings. And we were still painting the day of the show. It was so difficult. I went in after school every single day to work on it. And even during rehearsal, I was there painting the flats, and I'm just such hard work, and I'm super proud of that show.
Good for you. That's fantastic.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. Now I want to see pictures of your blocks and your books. And we should be hiring you to do props for us or something. We'll talk.
Yep, I'm there. I love props. I love making things.
We'll talk for sure. Adelita, what do you want to share?
I mean, I guess it depends on what part of theater you're talking about.
Doesn't even have to be theater. It can be theater if you want, or it can be something else. I know you write. I know you do other kinds of art.
I mean, recently I wrote a poetry book that I turned into a play, and it was a lot of short sonnets of just my life, kind of through the years, and I just finished the final draft of it, and my school's putting it on this year. So it's an emotional roller coaster, just because that's been my life. So that's exciting, but obviously for me, the most meaningful experience I've had has to be Esperanza on the House on Mango Street. It was definitely life-changing for me, and an eye-opener in like just so many cases, just because Sandra Cisneros' book, it touched my heart in a way I didn't expect it to. Like it had been one of my favorite books at the time, but when you're actually acting it out, it's very different. And I remember the first time I did Red Clowns, it was just like that night alone, it was just engraved in my head, and it was emotional, and the cast were just hugging each other and crying and just like sharing this beautifully saddening experience with each other. And that moment alone has to be one of my biggest impacts that I made in theater is that scene, just because it's so powerful, and I saw it for the first time recently, and I was just it broke my heart, because I wouldn't say I'm the same girl I was 3 years ago, but seeing that, I was like, wow. And all of Mango Street. I mean, that's where I met Marisa, and she's now my best friend. And so, yeah, that has to be it for me.
Well, I want to hear more about this show you wrote that your school is putting on. When is that?
It's going to be in the springtime. It's a lot of I took a lot of samples from Mango Street, in the sense where there's an older and younger. Concepcion is the name that I chose, and it's a lot of there's a lot of tough scenes, but then there's a lot of happy scenes to balance it out. It was emotionally draining to write, just because like when you're writing, you're reliving the experiences that you just went through. And hopefully it goes good. I'm excited. It's going to be the first play that I get to see of mine on stage.
Well, you have to tell us when. Yeah, is it going to be on stage?
No, it's going to be on the screen.
Well, then it'll be easier for all of us to watch it then too, right? You have to tell us when and how we can watch it.
Of course.
So we've got another question from Blasa. So what's your dream role? It's actually two questions. What's your dream role? And what production do you want to see Teatro Vision Youth bring to the stage? Which is a good question for us, because then we can keep that in mind when we're looking at shows to produce for the future.
Spelling bee. I'm just playing.
Stop it.
You go first.
Okay. Honestly, I don't have a dream role. I don't know. I've never been someone to aspire to be like Elle Woods in Legally Blonde or any main character. I just kind of, whatever you want to give me, and then I'll work with that. And I just kind of learn to connect with that character. So I don't really have a preference. But a show that I do want to see come to Teatro Vision, I'm not sure if it's for youth or whether it be for adults, but I really want to see Always Running. I read that book sophomore year. No, last year. I read it last year, and I learned that there was a play, and I was like, Teatro Vision has to do this. Yeah, so Always Running, I think, is a great book to do a play on.
Well, tell us about it. What is it? Why do you think it would be so good for Teatro Vision?
It talks a lot about gang culture and how gangs form and how it affects people's lives, especially for the main character. And it kind of humanizes them, because a lot of people see like gang members as these inhumane, evil people, when in reality, a lot of the times gangs form through bonds that you have with other people. And it can escalate with, a lot of the times it would be people like the police. Like there was an example in the stories, it's based on a true story, that police disguised as surfers and tried to pick a fight with their group of friends, their gang. And once they took the bait, they basically pulled out their badge and their guns and were like, we're going to find whatever reason to arrest you. And so I feel like showing stuff like that, how these gangs form and how their lives are in reality, I think is super important. I think it's a great thing to show people.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Like Marisa, I also don't have a dream role. I'm kind of good with whatever. But if I were, I really like whatever Teatro Vision puts on. So I don't have a preference of what they do next. I'm excited to go see what they do with Esperanza Rising. Can't wait to go see that. Yeah, I like everything, so not picky.
I mean, unlike these two, I have a dream role.
Awesome.
Just because it was the first Chicano theater play I ever saw, which was Zoot Suit. So my dream role is El Pachuco, yeah. And just to bring life to that character with a more feminine energy, just to see how it would be played. It's always been a dream of mine, you know, just to. And plus, I love Luis Mendez, so he is my inspiration for everything I do. Dream play. I mean, there's so many. You know, I would love to see something that the youth could write and produce. Like that to me just seems like a super cool idea of like our experiences in LA as Chicanos, not in LA, San Jose as Chicanos, Chicano youth who we all come from very different backgrounds, but we're all connected through theater, you know. So something like that to me just sounds interesting. Like not all of us come from the same families or the same wealth and the same we don't have the same difficulties as each other. So to be able to hear all of our stories and to see them on stage is just, that to me sounds like a dream come true type of play.
That's a beautiful idea. What else? You said you had other ideas.
Yeah, Dalita. Don't be shy. What else?
I don't mean to put you on the spot. You don't have to.
I mean, any Chicano play really, just because we don't see them often in San Jose or anywhere really. I mean, I know how psyched I was when I found out Always Running became a play because it's one of my favorite books as well. But like anything that shows us on stage, because that rarely happens.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. So, you out there too. If anyone out there watching has suggestions of plays you'd like to see us do, or something either with the adults or with the youth cast, so please drop it in the chat. We'd love to hear your suggestions. Again, just reminding everybody, if you missed my introduction at the beginning, you're watching our weekly La Hora del Mitote, which is every Friday at 7. We are here talking to Teatro Vision family members, and today we're here with some of our amazing young performers who are doing their dances they've rehearsed just for you and choreographed themselves just for you. And if anyone else has questions for them, please do drop them in the chat. We would love to hear what you have to say, or just share some love, and we love that too. So what's next for all of you guys? What do you have coming up? Some of you've touched on. Adelita's got this super cool project with the play that you wrote that's being produced. But what other projects are you working on now? What's in store?
La Muerte Baila, which comes out in October, so all of you guys should go watch it.
Shameless plug.
Plug. But just what I'm working on next. It sounds cheesy, but myself right now during quarantine, just trying to figure that out, who I am as a person and everything, and probably write a play about that too. But just and anything theater. I'm assistant director in The Wizard of Oz right now at Silver Creek, so that's cool. But otherwise, no, I don't have anything super big besides La Muerte Baila right now.
I love I don't have anything super big except for the 3 things that I just listed.
Nothing much. Just
those are 3 huge projects that you have going on right now. But what else? What about the rest of you? What other projects do you have going on?
Ali.
I'm gonna read something for my school's fall drama festival, so that should be fun. I don't know when that is, but it'll be soon. I'm excited for that. That's pretty much all I have going on.
Do you know what you're reading?
I have no idea.
Yes.
It'll be an exciting discovery then.
Yeah. Marisa. Wait, where are you? Wait. Wait.
It's confusing, right? Which side?
That way.
There we go.
No.
There we go. You got it.
There we go.
Kind of. Wait. Okay. I have to go.
Like Adelita said, I'm also in La Muerte Baila. Other than that, I'm just taking things a day at a time. Trying to get my work done and try to balance school and the play. And other than that, nothing much.
Nothing much except for
Again, there's
I
nothing
said
much.
other than that. I mentioned the play.
no.
Go see our
Oh.
show.
Here's a good question. Diane wants you to share your experiences with tech rehearsals with Teatro Visión.
We've done so many illegal things in tech rehearsal. It's kind of bad.
It depends on who you play.
I mean, I go.
Oh, if you have a character that's on stage like the entire time, it can be a little draining, but it's so fun. It's so fun. Just a little bit.
There's probably somebody out there who doesn't know what a tech rehearsal is either. Why doesn't one of you explain it real quick?
Ali.
Yeah, Ali. Go ahead, Ali.
You pointed like this. Oh, wait. You're like Ali.
You're right next to me.
A tech rehearsal is a rehearsal that lasts very, very long. And it's lots of hours. But it's usually towards where your first opening night's coming up, like kind of close to opening night. And it's where you do all the sound and like the sets there. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yep, you're doing great.
And the lighting and like they figure out the timing for everything. So yeah.
That's it. We got it. The long rehearsal, yeah. You got to
Yeah.
practice your lights and your sound and your scenery and your props and everything else.
So basically it's just incorporating your technical aspects into the show. At first you do something called a cue to cue. So it's basically every exit and entrance, and you add in your sound cues and your lighting cues. And so a cue is like when it's like the time when something happens. So a cue to cue is just, that one is the more lengthy process because you have to go and stop and go and start over and stop, and you're waiting for the designers to put in all the sound and lighting cues. And then you move on to the dress rehearsal stage, which is where everything is already ready and you run the show as if it was an actual show, costumes and makeup and yeah.
I mean, I know for us during tech rehearsal,
things get crazy.
a little delirious. And during the house on Mango Street, we decided to play a lot of games backstage during any of our dinner breaks, and we discovered a door that was under the stage, and we went in it, and we got scared immediately and ran back out. We wouldn't know what we were gonna find there, so we ran back out, and we're like, "Oh my god, you guys gotta come see this!" But no. But I mean, it's just tech rehearsal is a truly bonding experience. You know, you get to be crazy for 12 hours a day with people you love. For me, I know a lot of people like don't think the same way, but for me, tech rehearsal has to be one of my favorite parts from a play.
I was about to ask you all, yeah, what are your favorite rehearsals?
Tech, definitely.
Yeah.
Cue to cue is long, but I love it.
Mm-hmm. I like dress rehearsal because I'm in my costume.
That's hard. That's a tough decision. I like both cue to cue and dress. Like, I know cue to cue is so long, but like it's fun. Especially if you're not on stage at the time, so you can like take a little nap, eat a little snack, play a little game or something. But if you're on stage,
it sucks.
You can drink water maybe, but usually you have to stay in your place because they'll have to put the light around you. And yeah, I remember sleeping during Doodle Pequeño. It was a lot of physical work for my character.
Valencia.
Yeah, I played Valencia, the imaginary goat, and I'm in this big fuzzy costume that's it's surprisingly thin, so it wasn't that hot, but I'm still running around. I'm on my knees, like crawling around everywhere, jumping, and it's a lot of physical work. So I was tired, and my castmate had mono, so she was constantly tired as well. And she played Doodle, so she was on stage all the time and having to do all this physical activity. So both of us were just beat by the end of the day. And so during one of our breaks, we were trying to take a nap, and and we went into one of the dressing rooms to try to take a nap, and everyone came in and we're having fun. And we were like, okay, we're gonna try to sneak out to the other dressing room to take a nap, and everyone followed us, and we were like, oh no. So we have this one spot, like this dark room next to the caliper, that we'll go and we'll kind of snuggle up in the corner. It's all dark and it's covered in black fabric. So we just took a nap there, and it was pretty fun. Well, kind of. And someone came and they started talking. So we got a little sleep, but.
Yes.
This is one of those dangerous questions that you don't necessarily want to know.
You don't want to know what we've done in that.
Yeah.
Adelita, do you want to tell them what you did with my hand one time during Macarena?
I held it and I gave it a little kiss. I went, I smashed it in a drawer on accident, but it was on accident, so it was okay.
Oh.
That's how that works.
Lots of stuff goes on during tech, and it's a fever dream. But then you hit the shows, and it's still a fever dream.
Yeah, we're really giving people a glimpse behind the curtain now, right?
It's fun though. It's fun.
Well, what advice do you have if there's kids out there who, or teens, or anyone really who wants to get involved in our shows?
What?
Do you have any advice?
Come join us. It's so much fun. The experiences are worth it. You make lasting friendships, and you want to do it again.
Definitely. Go ahead, Marisa, go last.
All right. For me, my biggest piece of advice is don't be scared. Do it. Join the class. Audition for that play, because we don't bite. Like, we're super friendly. We'll make you feel okay. Adelita might bite, but we don't bite. And everyone here is super supportive. It doesn't matter what level of Spanish you think you have, or what background you come from, who you are. It doesn't matter. Everyone is so nice to everyone. And don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to look silly, because we're all a bunch of weirdos. Like, and don't be afraid to be a kid, because I'm gonna tell you here, you heard it from me, folks. The adults at Teatro Visión act more like kids than the kids act like kids. So don't be scared. Do it. You're gonna regret it if you don't do it now. So yeah, that's my advice.
That's some solid advice.
I mean, there's so much advice I could give, like being someone who started off.
There's one of our adult actors. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh, Carlos is the 3-year-old at heart.
I started off super antisocial and in a really dark place, like I didn't know who I was, and that's seen a lot for an 8-year-old. But I mean, I know my grandfather had just passed away, so I was really depressed, and I dealt with a lot of anxiety. But for me, the moment that I stepped on that stage, I knew like this was my forever home. And to any advice to kids out there who are going through a time where you feel like you can't be you right now, like you need to escape, theater is that escape. It allows you to become a completely different person for an hour, 2 hours, or 12 hours during tech rehearsal. It's healing. It heals you in ways you didn't know you need to be healed, and it just introduces you to so many new people and helps you through life. Like, these people I am going to know for the rest of my life, and I'm going to cherish the memories I have with them for the rest of my life. So if you need a family, if you need someone to say, I love you and I accept you for who you are, you have to think teatro.
Well, it's 8:00 now, and I can't think of a better way to a better sentiment to end our broadcast on. So thank you all so much, the three of you, Marisa, Adelita, Ali. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who's out there supporting us, supporting these incredible young artists, and we will be back with La Hora del Mitote next Friday, 7:00. Same time, same place. Bravo, bravo. All right. Thank you all so much, and have a good night.
Bye.
Better together.